Honourable colleagues, it is exactly 9:30 and I would like for us to start our meeting. A very good morning to you, Honourable Peterson, Honourable Pulwane, Honourable Shabango, Honourable Maelola, Honourable Kanyile, Honourable Chauke Aduenes. You are all very welcome in this meeting. Very good morning to Dr. Tembe. Very good morning to our own support team. Good morning to all South Africans that are following us on the various media platforms. You are all very welcome to this very important meeting this morning. Colleagues, in front of us is our agenda for this morning. I'm going to hand over to you, Ms. Silly, to please deal with the agenda and our apologies for this morning.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members, and good morning to the colleagues. Chairperson, in front of us, we will be looking at the opening and welcome overview of applications received for the CGE, adoption of the shortlisting criteria, and then we will be, members will be shortlisting candidates for the CGE commissioners, and then we will have a break, Chairperson, for about an hour and 15 minutes, and thereafter the research team and the content advisor will come back for an overview of the shortlisted candidates, and then there will be closure. Thank you, Chairperson. In terms of apologies, Chairperson, I received an apology from Honorable Mbiko, who said that she will be attending Party Congress, but I also see that she has, Honorable Member has also joined the meeting this morning. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Yolanda. We welcome Honourable Mbiko, and we are glad that we are a full component this morning. Members are taking the work that we have to conduct this morning very seriously, so I thank all honourable members for joining. I do want to make an announcement that Honourable Shabango has communicated with me in terms of a responsibility that she has to take care of. So later, when she has shortlisted, she will exit the meeting, and I have granted her that early leave. Honourable members, please may I take your hands for a mover and a seconder of our... I see your hand, Honourable Mbiko.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you very much to all our colleagues and those who are listening or watching at home. I hereby move, Honourable Chair, for the adoption. But I just wanted also to let you know that I'm currently driving now to the airport. So I will be on and off,
No
regarding
problem.
the connection of the meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Madam.
No problem. No problem. I'm aware that today we are currently in the constituency period. So let me also then express to all of you, honourable members, thank you very much that you availed yourself to be a part of this meeting this morning. I'm also currently traveling. Later, I will have a more stable connection, but thank you that you availed yourself to be a part of this meeting. As I have often indicated to honourable members, we've got a constitutional court deadline to meet in terms of this process, and therefore we had to apply for a special meeting for this morning, even though I do know some of you are going to your congresses, some of you are on your constituencies. So I am really grateful that you all availed yourself this morning. I also see the hand of the Honourable Pulwane and the Honourable Chauke Aduenes.
Morning, Chair. Morning, honourable members, our support staff. Chair, I move for the seconder for this agenda for today's meeting. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I see the hand of the Honourable Chauke Aduenes.
Thank you very much, Chair. No, I was going to move to second. Thank you. I'm covered.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honourable Whip. Colleagues, with our agenda having been adopted, I want to move swiftly to the items. You've already been welcomed. Let me just indicate that I know all of you, as I've said, might be on the road or you've got other commitments. Where possible, please do switch on your cameras if you feel that you're in a position to do so. I will only be able to do so later when I get to my office. So please do accept my apology for now. Secondly, I want to say that, of course, we meet this morning for an important task as we start the process of identifying candidates to be shortlisted, to be considered to serve on the Commission for Gender Equality. We know that our Commission for Gender Equality is a very important Chapter 9 institution with a mandate to promote, protect, and monitor, evaluate gender equality as they aim to achieve a South Africa free of gender oppression. And so this work this morning that we will be engaging in, of course, is a very important task that we have been given by Parliament to undertake. And with no further ado, then I want to hand over to Ms. Abrams to take us through the overview of the applications, whereafter we will move to a presentation by Dr. Tembe on our shortlisting criteria, and we will then adopt that shortlisting criteria before I call on honourable members to shortlist. I'm going to start with Honourable Shabango and Mbiko, who have got other commitments, but I will indicate the order as we get to it. Over to you, Ms. Abrams.
Good morning, Chairperson, members and colleagues. Chairperson, is the document clear on the screen?
It is.
Thank you. Members, what Crystal, Tasneem, and myself have done is done an analysis on the applications. What I will go through with members this morning is how we derived at that analysis. Members would have received the master list from the committee secretariat. It contained all the applications received online, via email, and the one application that was received on the parliamentary precinct that was hand-delivered. And this was to ensure openness and transparency for the members. So you would see the master list contained all the applications, which included duplications. How did we identify the duplications? Through the ID number. So where the ID number appeared more than once. This was noted in red. And again, the timestamp and the date for each application was indicated. A duplication is usually in a case where an applicant applied more than once, either more than once on the online or online and via email. But these have all been indicated. What's also important to note was that these where candidates emailed but did not submit an application form, this was highlighted in yellow. And there were also nominators, in other words, person who nominated a candidate who applied, but with the intention of nominating a particular candidate. And those were highlighted in orange in your Excel sheet. In addition, members would have also received from the committee secretariat files or folders with all the relevant information for each particular candidate. So members, for openness and transparency, you received all the information in order to be able for us to reach today to do the shortlisting. So in terms of online applications received, there was 93, 17 via email, and 1 hand-delivered. So the total number of applications received was 111. Important to note that there was one very late application on the 16th of February, and another one that was emailed after the closing date but did not have an application form. We took guidance from the committee management in terms of 2 applications that came just shortly after midnight. Again, on your Excel sheet, you'd have seen that. It was highlighted. And these were due to ICT connectivity issues. There was in emails that indicated nomination letters for these particular candidates were submitted beforehand, as well as an indication where the candidate indicated there was a struggle finishing that application before midnight. So then, of the 111 applications, I've noted the 11 duplications, 3 nominators that applied, and 12 candidates that emailed that did not attach an application form. So in terms of our analysis, it came to 88 applications, having removed the 11 duplications, 3 nominators, and the 12 that did not attach, along with the very late application of the 16th. So in terms of the 88 candidates, as noted above, with respect to gender, it's very similar to what we've seen with all our processes in the past pertaining to the CGE. The majority of the 88 applicants, 25 females, 28%. The majority was 62 females, 71%, and 1 applicant that identified as a transgender woman. In terms of the provincial overview, again, the majority had come from Gauteng. Again, the majority of females from Gauteng, and then males. Eastern Cape 8, Free State 8, KwaZulu-Natal 15, Limpopo 4, Mpumalanga 1, Northwest 5, the Northern Cape 2, and the Western Cape 12. That gets us to 88. And that gives you your breakdown by gender, female, male, and non-binary for all the provinces. As members would see, all the provinces, candidates applied from all the provinces, with the majority having come from Gauteng, followed by KwaZulu-Natal, and then the Western Cape. This is just a bar graph again, showing you the rate in terms of applicants and of that 88, where they came from. You can see again, Gauteng the highest, and then KwaZulu-Natal the second, followed by the Western Cape. In terms of race, of the 88 applicants, the majority were Black African females, 51%, and then males, 23%. Colored applicants constituted 9% of applicants, while Indian, Asian, white applicants counted for 13 and 3%, and then 1 applicant identified as a Black African transgender woman. Again, just to give you the numbers, for Black African, we had 66, colored 8, Indian, Asian 11, white 3, which gives us that total of 88. Again, the bar graph just shows members in a graph form, the race profile. Moving on then in terms of disability, of the 88 applicants, 50, which is about 70%, indicated that they had a disability, 7 males, 7 females, and 1 transgender woman. The majority came from Gauteng, 4 from the Eastern Cape, 3 from KwaZulu-Natal, 1 person with disability from the Western Cape, 1 from the Northern Cape, and 1 from the Northwest. In terms of the type of disability that was disclosed, this included physical, deaf and hearing impaired, or hearing impaired, blind or visual impairment, mental health, person-indicated depression, and albinism. In terms of the employment status of that 88 applicants, 36 indicated they were employed, 35 indicated self-employed, 1 retiree and 2 students, with 14 applicants indicating that they were unemployed. Again, the bar graph just gives you an indicator that the majority that applied were indeed employed, and then followed by self-employed. With respect to nominations, apologies, I did include the graph, which I'll insert and send to members. Of the 88 applicants, 27% were nominated. So in other words, there were nomination letters sent for these 24. And then 64, the majority, which is about 73%, were self-nominees. In other words, applicants who applied but without a nomination. Chairperson members, that gives you an overview of all the applicants in terms of the 88. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kashifa, and your team for the hard work that went into this. I know that it was quite a process for us to collate all the information to be able to make sure that we give all the information that is needed to honorable members. I'm now going to hand over to Dr. Tembe to also guide us in terms of the shortlisting criteria.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Good morning, honorable members and fellow colleagues. Ms. Seeley, can you flight the presentation that I sent to you last night? Yes. I think the only issue here that I can only highlight is just first the background to this, because on the 31st of July, the Constitutional Court invalidated the appointment of 5 CGE commissioners appointed in 2023 on the basis that the parliamentary process did not comply with the provisions of Section 59(1)(a) and 1936 of the Constitution in that case. So these two provisions speaks about actually the public participation and public process involvement. So on the first part is that Parliament, Section 59(1)(a) is that Parliament should involve the public in all its processes. Actually, it says in the legislative and other processes. So that is the aspect in which this process was challenged. Then the Constitutional Court held that Parliament failed to comply with its constitutional to facilitate reasonable public involvement. The invalidity was for a period of 12 months from the judgment, which now becomes lapses on the 31st of July 2026. So consequently, I won't be speaking that what empowers the portfolio committee to speak about that, although to highlight that they are empowered in terms of the NA Rule 167 and 227, which the committee exercises oversight over CGE, and CGE is accountable to this PC. Then we are trying to provide advice on the practical implication of what this process will entail. Just maybe to also highlight an issue which might also be confusing along as we discuss this document is that we use the standard of a director, because in terms of the PFMA, the commissioners are bound by corporate governance, so which means the standard of a director is also applicable to them. So that is the starting point. Scroll down, Ms. So I think the legal framework actually which establishes the CGE is Section 187 of the Constitution, subsection 1. We provide that the Commission for Gender Equality must promote respect for gender equality and the protection, development, and attainment of gender equality. Section 187, subsection 2 also provides that the Commission for Gender Equality has the powers regulated by national legislation necessary to perform its function, including the power to monitor, investigate, research, educate, lobby, advise, and report on issues concerning gender equality. Just here to juxtapose is that this constitutional provision should be read also with the CGE Act, so to be in line. So there is no difference, but it says beyond the constitutional provision, there's also the national legislation. So for appointment, Section 193, subsection 1 of the Constitution provides that the public protector and members of any commission must be women or men who, A, are South African citizens, B, a fit and proper person to hold the particular office, and C, comply with any other requirement prescribed by national legislation. Section 193, subsection 2 provides for the need for a commission established by this chapter to reflect broadly the race and gender composition of South Africa must be considered when members are appointed. So the chapter here is chapter 9. So which means for any commission established by Chapter 9, this is what must be considered. Those are the constitutional provision. Furthermore, Section 1936, which is almost read in together with Section 59, provides that for the involvement of civil society in the recommendation process may be provided as envisaged in Section 59 1A. So Section 59 1A, as I've articulated from the onset, that the National Assembly must facilitate public involvement in the legislative and other processes of the Assembly and its committees. So now, which is the national legislation, is the CGE Act, section number 39 of 1996. Section 3, subsection 1 provides that the commission shall consist of a chairperson and no fewer than 7 and no more than 11 members who shall A, have a record of commitment to the promotion of gender equality, and B, be persons with applicable knowledge or experience with regard to matters connected with objects of the commission. Then Section 3, subsection 7 of the Act provides that any person whose terms of office as a member of the commission has expired may be reappointed for one additional term. Then Section 10, subsection 1B provides that a member of the commission as well as a member of the staff shall perform his or her function in good faith without fear, favor, bias, or prejudice. Can you scroll down, Missy? So also there is also the Commissioner's Handbook, which might be a hand in this process. The Commissioner's Handbook vision stipulates that the Commission for Gender Equality shall advance, promote, and protect gender equality. This is done through research, public education, policy development, legislative initiatives, effective monitoring, and litigation. Then Section 3, subsection 3.3 of the Commission Handbook establishes oversight committees. So consequently, the strategic objectives of the CGE are assigned to these committees to enable commissioners to ensure the effective implementation of these objectives and lend support as required. So as we know that the commission is the executive authority of the institution. So hence they are entrusted with the strategic objective of the organization. Oversight committees are established in accordance with the PFMA number 1 of 1999 requirement as part of commissioners' fiduciary oversight responsibilities. That is where what I've pointed out from the onset, that actually the standard applicable to directors is also applicable to them, because in the directors or in the issue of company law, the fiduciary duties or responsibilities are emphasized. So they are also inherent relevant for Commissioner too. Thus, the selection of an individual with a clear understanding of his or her fiduciary responsibility is critical here. So then the Commissioner's Handbook establishes these following oversight committees. There's a strategic plan, annual report, monitoring and evaluation committee. There's also the finance committee, audit committees, human resource committee, information technology and communications committee, good governance committee, legal submission and complaints committee, and research and education committees. The CGE Section 6 committees comprising of commissioners are intertwined with these oversight committees. Therefore, the commissioners to lead them must have the necessary skills. If you observed, actually, these oversight committees are led by the commissioners. So hence, I point out how they are intertwined, because perhaps the person leading that committee should have the necessary skill set for that committee oversight committee. Furthermore, section 5.3.7 of the handbook enlists the roles and responsibilities of the commissioner. They are A, cooperative governance and determining the strategic direction of the commission. B, lead the commission ethically for sustainability in terms of the economy, environment, and society, taking into account impact on internally and external stakeholders. C, ensure the commission operates as and is seen to be a responsible, compliant corporate citizen. D, ensure the creation of an ethical culture supportive of gender equality, setting necessary principles, practice, and standards, measuring adherence with incorporating this into its risk management, operations, performance management, and disclosure mechanism. This is so critical because in the past we had an issue of a commissioner who did not support this vision of the commission, which eventually had to be brought to parliament. Hence, this should be considered by the committee when doing the shortlisting. So then we then analyze this provision, this statutory provision, the constitutional provision, the legislation, the commissioner's handbook. So then we advise the committee that it should consider the constitution, as I've pointed, the CG Act, commissioners in shortlisting capable and capacitated individuals to enhance the vision and mandate of the institution. These legal instruments provide a guide on the required attributes and caliber of commissioners. So the committee should look beyond the structural attributes and considers more subjective factors such as quality of professional background and engagement in board responsibilities. This is because most board failures are caused by wrong reason of selection, like business, personal ties, or for their ability to add symbolic luster to a company's board, which do not add value to the institution. So the legal framework, which is the bedrock for the establishment of the commission, does not describe in depth the personal attributes of envisioned commissioners except those mentioned in section 3, subsection 1A and B of the CG Act mentioned above. So it is an activist and knowledge-based member to drive the objects of the commission. As you've read before, I think it says the person, subsection A, if I'm not mistaken, just to recapitulate on that one. It says the person must have a record of commitment to the promotion of gender equality, and B, be person with applicable knowledge or experience with regard to matters connected with the objects of the commission. So scroll down, Missy. The latter can be inferred either from the functions or vision of the commission, which means we are speaking about the latter part, which is the knowledge. So can be inferred either from the function or vision of the commission as encompassed in the responsibilities of commissioners. This means the candidate should be conversant with the mandate of the commission outlined in section 187 of the Constitution. CGE is empowered. It states the powers of the commission, the function of the commission, which is to investigate, monitor, research, educate, lobby, advise, and report on issues concerning gender equality. These qualities can be gleaned from the curriculum vitae of candidates, because you can tell whether somebody in his or previous or current work environment does monitor, investigate, research, educate, lobby or advise or and report. So these skills actually spread across diverse social science fields with different specialists as I've pointed above. They are expressed by also in the different oversight committees that commissioners are empowered to lead as functional areas in terms of the Commissioner's Handbook and the CGE Act. Scroll down, see. So, premised on the encompassing injunction of Section 11, which I think Section 11 also details out the powers and functions of the Commission. So, amongst others, the candidate must be able or capacitated to monitor and evaluate policies and practices of state and private sector. This is very critical because monitoring and evaluation is a new phenomenon skill that measures performance and effectiveness. The importance of examining effectiveness is that it shifts focus from inputs and outputs to an outcome-based assessment of the project, programs, policy implementation of the institution. This skill will assess whether the institution is fulfilling its constitutional and legal duties efficiently and examine the relevance, impact, and quality of the institution. It will be beneficial for CGE to recruit such specialists in M&E to enhance the standing and promotion of gender equality. I think further to emphasize this point is that there is a question whether the institution established in terms of the constitution are really making the impact which they were established or created for. So also aligned to this concept is the injunction of Section 4.1 of the handbook, which provides that commissioners are constantly called upon to make decisions in order to solve problems. So decision making and problem solving are ongoing process of evaluating situations or problem, considering alternatives, making choices and following them with the necessary actions. So candidates who have been at the helm of complex organizational structure requiring judicious decision making should be, or stand a chance, should be considered for the vacancies. Not that it's exclusive, it's just to accentuate that point. Although the CGE Act is also clumsy on the educational and activist credentials, as pointed out about from commissioners. However, the Commissioner's Handbook gives a glimpse of the typical person to be members of the Commission from the responsibilities of commissioners. Section 6.3 of the handbook further provides that commissioners are occasionally required to develop opinion pieces on human rights and constitutional matters for publishing in the matter. This implies that perhaps somebody with a legal qualification criterion is also actually envisaged by this provision. So Section 6, subsection 4 of the CG Act also introduces report writing amongst the skill that is expected of a commissioner. It stipulates that upon the completion of an assigned task, a committee comprising of commissioners as per Section 6 shall submit a written report including recommendation for consideration by the Commission. I think in my initial presentation, I've articulated this, that there was sometimes, years back, there was an issue of a commissioner who couldn't actually draft a report after an overseas trip, which was actually submitted to Parliament. So there was an issue. So hence, I'm actually highlighting this point. Furthermore, the Commissioner's Handbook in Section 7.6.5 obliges a commissioner to submit a written report upon return from an international travel of lessons learned and proposed recommendation for the CGE. The skill will dovetail with the duties of Research and Education Committee. This requirement also gives an idea that researchers and educators were envisaged to form part of the commission shortlist. Scroll down, you see. So perhaps this part titled Social Metrics and Functional Area. Section 6, subsection 7 of the CGE Act advocates for continuity by giving discretion to the PC when dealing with the recruitment to recommend for appointment a candidate who has served first term of incumbents to be reappointed for another additional term. The legislature's intention was to maintain stability, institutional memory, and seamless transition to keep those efficient office bearers in the institution. It is generally acceptable and rational if the performance of their duties within the institution is satisfactory and they are still fit and proper person. Whether the candidate is still remains fit and proper person requires performance management for competence of the task assigned to the commissioner and determination of the ethical values in terms of the code of conduct. So the definition of a fit and proper person is not the one used in legal phraseology, but it accentuates that the candidate must be fit for purpose in terms of competence and add value to the institution. The commissioner must act in the best interest of the commission, including managing conflicts. So this one that the commissioner must act in the best interest of the commission, including managing conflict. It's in the commissioner's handbook. It's derived from the commissioner's handbook. So the requirement of fit and proper person is also espoused by the Constitution. Especially section 1931 of the Constitution, and lists 3 factors for consideration. That is citizenship, fit and proper person to hold that particular office, and comply with any other requirement prescribed by national legislation. So Commissioner's Handbook also amplifies the concept of a fit and proper person on the caliber. Can you scroll down? On the caliber and ethos. Manifestly, the Constitution in section 1932 provides that the committee must in its deliberations consider the need to reflect broadly the race and gender composition of South Africa. So the PC must shortlist and interview suitable candidates in accordance with the provision of the Constitution and the CGE Act. I think it has been outlined. This one has been actually consolidated. The collation has been consolidated by Ms. Abrams to reflect the race and gender composition of the applicants. So another issue, the Companies Act. So members of the commission are equivalent or similar to a board of directors in terms of their function. Hence, the veritable principles of corporate governance apply to them par excellence. So section 69(8) of the Companies Act lists the previous common law duties of a director. It provides that a person is disqualified to be a director of a company if a court has prohibited that person to be a director or declared that person to be delinquent in terms of section 162 or in terms of section 47 of the Close Corporation Act number 69 of 1984, or B, subject to subsection 9 to 12, the person, 1, is an unrehabilitated insolvent. 2, is prohibited in terms of any public regulation to be a director of a company. 3, has been removed from an office of trust on the grounds of misconduct involving dishonesty, or has been convicted in the Republic or elsewhere and imprisoned without the option of a fine, or fine more than the prescribed amount for theft, fraud, forgery, perjury, or an offense AA involving fraud, misrepresentation, or dishonesty. Scroll down, Miss. Or in connection with the promotion, formation, or management of a company, or in connection with any act contemplated in subsection 2 or subsection 5, or CC under this act, the Insolvency Act number 24 of 1936, the Close Corporation Act number 69 of 1984, the Competition Act number 89 of 1998, the Financial Intelligence Center Act number 38 of 2001, the Securities Services Act number 36 of 2004, or Chapter 2 of the Prevention and Combating of Corruption Activities Act number 12 of 2004. So the board composition should take account of the need to successfully lead the company as well as to monitor and control its activities. The right team is essential to success in every competitive behavior of the mandate of CGE. So candidates for CGE vacancies must also be knowledgeable and adept to the delineation of leadership and management. So commissioners are the leaders of the institution individually and collectively. They are responsible for setting the strategic plan and annual performance plan, whilst management is responsible for the operation of the institution. So King 4, which was actually published in 2016, stipulates that the board should comprise the appropriate balance of knowledge, skill, experience, diversity, and independence for it to discharge its governance role and responsibilities objectively and effectively. So the structures, processes, and practices that the board uses to direct and manage the operations of a company determine how authority is exercised, how decisions are taken, how stakeholders have their say, and how decision makers are held to account. It deals with who is responsible for what. Those knowledgeable in corporate governance are potential candidates for shortlisting. Maybe to highlight this point, Parliament has encountered a situation where there has been blurred lines between administration and management. So sometimes there have been conflict and clashes. So hence, perhaps I need to highlight this point. Although even in the engagement that our office had with this institution supporting democracy, this issue of the code of conduct handbook for the office bearers has been highlighted because there are these blurred lines. So furthermore, the directors or commissioners individually, collectively must possess qualities of independence, integrity, competency, inclusivity, the ability to balance the legitimate interests of stakeholders in their decision-making, diligence, courage, and they must be informed about the company or institution and its business environment. So that's in totality. But as I've said, we are brought into this position because of the Constitutional Court judgment. So I need to emphasize, it must be emphasized, that the portfolio committee must do its due diligence in the public participation of the shortlisting process, because that was what caused the challenge, the court application. It is in that area that the court found Parliament process wanting. The court did not consider the interplay between these two parliamentary sections, nor whether Section 1936 imposes a specific obligation upon the National Assembly to take steps to involve organs of civil society. That question was left open by the court, but the court in its ratio says if members of the public and civil society organization are to provide meaningful input which will enrich and influence the selection process, the scope for proper comparative assessment must exist. So, furthermore, in expanding the meaning of public participation, the court further said, for meaningful participation, necessarily requires that they have access to the same essential information which bears upon the decision to be made. If that were not so, the deliberative process will flounder and be susceptible to misdirection arising from the inadequacy of information which informs the decision. What stands to be corrected in this case is the process by which commissioners of the CGE were appointed and the consequential legitimacy of those appointments. So the issue of reasonable time for public comment was also elaborated by the court. The parliament had given 14 days for public comment on the shortlisted candidates. It says sufficient time must be given to allow for public participation. Participation must occur at a stage in the process when it is possible for the public participation input to alter or influence the outcome of the parliamentary process. So Parliament must consider the views and comments of members of the public in its deliberation and decision-making process. How Parliament is not bound by the views or comments, but should demonstrate a preparedness to be guided by the public involvement process. This is part of the obiter or dictum of the court, what is cited here. So then the critical question which had to be answered is whether to publish redacted candidate CVs pre-shortlisting or post-shortlisting to improve its internal mechanism. The court was scathing on the failure of Parliament to publish the CVs of candidates, not even redacted one. So the court held that failure to publish the CVs amounts to procedural irregularity. Therefore, in this process, Parliament is bound to publish redacted CVs of candidates in accordance with the court order. So, furthermore, on this discretionary question of whether the Parliament has to do pre-shortlisting publication or post-shortlisting publication, it is suggested that it is better to opt for pre-shortlisting publication of all the CVs received with the redacted information to assist the selection process by the public comment on the suitable candidates. It gives the public a second bite on the cherry after call for nomination to influence the shortlisting process. The process of publication for public comments is used by Parliament as a risk management to prevent the recommendation or appointment of unsuitable candidates. Scroll down, Messi. However, this guide on pre-shortlisting criteria will not be applicable on the current process, which is undertaken by this committee. It forms part of the statutory appointment guide that will become effective from the 1st of April 2026 henceforth. So as it is known legally that law is not applicable retrospective. So the current process started in 2025 with the adverts. So these guidelines are still being discussed in Parliament, in other structures of Parliament for concurrence and finalization. So the CGE vacancies arose out of a court order and commenced before these guidelines were finalized. They'll become the norm in subsequent statutory appointment of institutions supporting democracy. MPs should consider the public comments that raise concerns about the suitability of candidates to mitigate the risk of appointing an unsuitable and disastrous candidate. Because our constitutional democracy has to strike a balance between participatory and representative democracy, Parliament is accorded a wide discretion to determine the manner in which it facilitates public involvement, and the court must take due cognizance of what Parliament considers to be reasonable. So, in conclusion, it must be highlighted that the committee responsible for the recruitment process must aspire to have a commission with balanced skills. So the late Stanley Foster Reid, founder of Directors and Boards, wrote in an article that most of the boards were ineffective because they lacked diversity. An effective board should be composed of people with useful but different and complementary talent. Where there is a competition on equally skilled and qualified directors to fill a vacancy, the decision on whom to appoint should also focus on how the different personalities on the board are likely to gel. It is argued that a board with a large number of consensus seekers could benefit from a dissenter or vice versa. Conversely, a board dominated by strategic thinkers may be strengthened by the addition of an operational focused, goal-oriented individual. Then Raman Naidu, in her book on corporate governance, sums up the 8 bullet criteria for an ideal board that at minimum it should comprise of the following roles. 1. Innovation. At least one person of the board must be an original thinker and be able to recognize that ability in others. 2. Analysis. At least one person on the board must have an analytical mind and be able to recognize that ability in others. 3. Organization. At least one person on the board must be insistent that organized effort is always necessary to ensure long-term success. 4. Execution. At least one person must have a talent for running organization, enforcing performance, in meeting objectives, and in recognizing that talent in others. 5. Human relations. At least one person must have and maintain a background in this increasing important area. Then 7. Shareholders activist. At least one person should have the responsibility to think like a shareholder activist. Boards are often caught unaware because no director is playing this role. 7. Integrator. At least one person should have the ability to connect the dots between viewpoints and issues and bring these disparate views and issues together in a cohesive, structured way. 8. Generalist. Finally, there must be at least one person who must know a little or a lot about everything, because long-term directors evolve into specialists in the company's core business, and specialists always get into trouble as they lose their sensitivity to charge. We accordingly recommend to the committee to consider the above during the recruitment process of CGE commissioners members. Thanks, Chairperson. Thank honorable members.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tembe. Maybe you can just indicate to us who is SM Ntombela, who signed off the document. Dr. Ntombela. Dr. Tembe, am I audible?
Oh, as Dr. Ntombela is the acting head of our Office on Institutions Supporting Democracy in the Speaker's Office, is also the special advisor to the Speaker.
Okay.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tembe. Also, our gratitude to Dr. Ntombela, the special advisor to the Speaker, for the guidance and support that you have given us. Colleagues, let me also take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Adams, Honorable Khadebe, Honorable Mkunu, and Honorable Tsotetsi. I want us to move swiftly to the shortlisting process. However, we do have to, as a committee, adopt this document as our guideline, guiding the work of this committee as we engage in the shortlisting process. So I would like to see for a hand that could move for the adoption of this document and a seconder. I also want to put it to you, honorable colleagues, that we are looking to fill 5 vacancies. And I want to make a proposal that we consider shortlisting 5 times 2 plus 2. In other words, that we shortlist 12 candidates. So I'm putting to you, honorable members, the proposal to shortlist 12 candidates, and that I take a hand and a seconder to adopt our shortlisting criteria as presented to us by Dr. Tembe. Honorable members.
Chairperson.
Honorable Chalke Adonis.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and greetings to yourself and honorable members, and also the support team, and appreciating Kashifa's report and Dr. Tembe's report as well in terms of the legal opinion. Chairperson, I would like to therefore move for the adoption of the report that was then presented to us by Dr. Tembe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chalke Adonis. Are you in agreement with 5 times 2 plus 2 as a
Yes,
resolution?
Chairperson.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Whip. I see the hand of the Honorable Peterson.
Thank you so much, Chair. Greetings, everybody. Chair, I second.
Okay. Thank you so much, colleagues. We will then now commence having adopted our shortlisting criteria, having adopted a resolution on the number of candidates that we would like to shortlist. I would like to call on Honorable Shabango to please be the first person to read into the record the codes, the 12 codes associated with your candidates that you would wish for us to consider for shortlisting. Over to you, Honorable Shabango.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to honorable members and everybody in the platform. Chair, let me also appreciate the report that has been presented to us. I'll be quick and short, like I've requested to exit early. I've got a family commitment that I'm busy with. Can I start reading the codes?
Yes, please.
It's C60. 61 47 4 58 93 42 stroke 110 is one person. 73 80 11 32 and 52. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Ms. Abrams, please can you confirm?
Thank you, Chairperson Ms. Shabangu. We have 60, 61, 47, 4, 58, 93, 42, 73, 80, 11, 32, 52. Thank you.
Is that correct?
Thank you, Chair. It's correct.
Thank you, Honorable Shabango, and also good luck with the engagements or family responsibilities. We will allow you to exit. Thank you. And I will send to you the names of the successful candidates after the meeting later. Thank you, Honorable Shabango. Honorable Maya Lola.
Greetings, Chair and colleagues. Can I come maybe after 2 of my colleagues? I'm still just finalizing the code properly because I have written the actual names.
No problem. No problem. No problem at all. Thank you also for being here. Honorable Tsotetsi.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to everyone that is in the platform. Chair, I would say it's C42, C73, C80, C11, C C32, C52, C61, C60, C47, C4, C58, C85. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Ms. Abrams?
Thank you, Chairperson and Mr. Chozetsi. It's 42, 73, 80, 11, 32, 52, 61, 60, 47, 4, 58, 85.
Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mbiko?
Okay, thank you very much. Just a minute, Chair, so that because I'm driving, let me just park.
No
But
problem.
in the meantime, I can read as follows: 80, 75, 1945, 68, 92, 58, 43, 4971, and 2.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mbiko. Ms.
Thank you, ma'am.
Abrams?
Thank you, Chairperson, Ms. Mbiko. Number 80, 75. Ms. Mbiko, is it 19 or 90?
Okay, just hold on, please. I said it's 80, 76, 19, 45, 68, 92, 58, 43, 49, 66, 71. And the last one is number 2.
Thank you. I'll just read it one more time, Ms. Mbiko. It's number 80, 76, 19, 45, 68, 92, 58, 43, 49, 66, 71, and 2.
That's correct, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mbiko. Safe travels and good luck to you and your political
Congress.
home at your Congress.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mkunu?
Thank you so much, Chairperson. The first one is C71, C66, C49, C43, C2, C92, C58, C68, C45, C76, C19, and C80.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mklonishwa. Ms. Abrams?
Yabonga.
Thank you, Ms. Mkunu. It's 71, 66, 49, 43, 2, 92, 58, 68, 45, 76, 19, and 80.
Correct, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Honorable Polwane.
Morning.
Okay, Honorable Khadebe, please proceed.
Oh, okay. Morning, Chair. Thank you very
Morning,
much.
ma. Morning.
Morning. I thought you said Honorable Pungane. You normally call me by that.
Yeah, Bongani, just hold on 1 second. Honorable
Okay.
Polwane, can you proceed?
Yes, Chairperson.
The first one, yes. Sometimes you must say ke a leboga, not only
Ke a
nyabo.
leboga. Baie
Yes, thank
dankie.
you very
Please
much.
proceed.
Good morning, everyone. So the first one is C42, C73, C80, C11, C32, C52, C61, C60, C47, C4, C58, C85 is the last one.
Thank you. Ms. Abrams?
Thank you, Ms. Polwani. Thank you. It's 42, 73, 80, 11, 32, 52, 61, 60, 47, 4, 58, 85.
Thank you, ma'am. Correct.
Ke a leboga. Baie dankie. Bongane, it's your opportunity, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to you, Chair, and my colleagues, all protocol observed. The first one is C2, second one C19, 19, C43, C45, C49, C58, C66, C68, C71, C76, C80, 80, the last one, C92. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Ms. Abrams?
Thank you, Ms. Khadebe. Number 2, 19, 43, 45, 49, 58, 66, 68, 71, 76, 80, 92.
Thank you, that's correct. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Kanile. Honorable Kanile. Honorable Kanile. Honorable Peterson.
Thank you so much, Chair. Greetings, everybody, once again. Chair, my numbers are as follows: C2, C80, C92, C58, C49, C71, C66, C43, C19, C76, C45, and C68. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Ms. Abrams?
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. We have number 2, 80, 92, 58, 49, 71, 66, 43, 19, 76, 45, 68.
Thank you, that's correct, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Kanile.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Greetings to you. Greetings to the colleagues and our support staff. I am ready, Chair. My numbers are as follows. Number C, 68, 45, 19, 2, 71, 66, 43, 49, 92, 58, 80, 76. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kanile. Honorable Mailola. Oh, sorry, Ms. Abrams. Sorry, Ms. Abrams.
Thank you, Chairperson and Ms. Khanile. Just to verify, we have 68, Ms. Khanile, 45, 19, 2, 71, 66, 43, 49, 92, 58, 80, 76.
Yes, Ms. Kashifa, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kanile. Honorable Mayalola.
Thank you again very much, Chair. My numbers is 47, 75, 80, 92, 50, 76, 68, and 45. Unfortunately, Chair, we couldn't manage to get to 12. We only managed to, yes.
No, that's no problem. We are running a merit-based process. So in you looking at the list and you want to recommend those candidates, it's fully within your rights. Thank you so much, Honorable Mayalola. Ms. Abrams, can I ask you to check back with, yeah.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you, Ms. Mayalola. Just to confirm your numbers, 47, 75, 80, 92, 50, 76, 68, 45.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mayalola. Honorable Chauke Adonis.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. As proof of life, I hope I am visible.
We can see you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to switch off my camera through you, Chairperson, as I read
No
out
problem.
my... Thank you. Thank you very much. The candidates reads as follows. 42, 73, 80, 11, 85, 4, 58, 32, 52, 61, 60, 47. Chairperson, I am done.
Thank you, Honorable Whip. Thank you very much. Ms. Abrams.
Thank you, Ms. Chauke Adonis.
I will listen and confirm.
Thank you. We have 42, 73, 80, 11, 85, 4, 58, 32, 52, 61, 60, 47.
Can we have a confirmation, Honorable Whip?
Yes, that is correct. Thank you very much.
Okay. Also, here is my proof of life. So I'm going to switch it off.
Chair.
Yes, Honorable Mayalola.
Sorry for interjecting. I
No
just want
problem.
to add one candidate, please,
No
with your
problem.
guidance.
Yes, no problem.
C4.
C4.
Yes.
Perfect. Miss.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mayalola. Ms. Abrams, can you confirm that you will just read back Honorable Mayalola's numbers plus the C4?
No problem, Chairperson. We have from Ms. Mayalola 47, 75, 80, 92, 50, 76, 68, 45, 4.
Is that
Yes,
correct?
correct. Yes, it is correct, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, here's my proof of life. As I said, I'm going to turn it off for my data purposes. Then I will read into the record my numbers. It's 80, 82, 76, 19, 42, 68, 92, 58, 96, 2, 6671. Ms. Abrams?
Thank you, Chairperson. The numbers are as follows: 80, 82, 76, 19, 42, 68, 92, 58, 96, 2, 66, 71.
Okay, that's correct. Can I check whether all colleagues have shortlisted? Is there any colleague that would like to still shortlist? I think all the full-time members of this portfolio committee have shortlisted. I have shortlisted Honorable Chauke Adonis, Shabango Polwani, Tsotetsi, Kanyile Mbiko, Mailola, Nkunu, Khadebe, Peterson. We've all shortlisted. Colleagues, I will now suspend the meeting until 12:30. We will reconvene at 12:30. At 12:30, I will take 5 minutes to read into the record the successful shortlisted candidates and provide a short overview of the shortlisted candidates. Thank you very much for your participation, colleagues. We are now suspending this meeting until 12:30. Thank you. to our meeting. I just want to confirm that we've got a quorum. I see in attendance Honourable Adams, Honourable Polwane, Honourable Chauke Adonis, Honourable Tsotetsi, myself, Honourable Peterson, Honourable Khadebe, Honourable Mailola. So thank you very much, colleagues. I wish to then take this time to read into the record the outcome of our shortlisting process. Colleagues, I want to say that the committee this morning resolved to shortlist a total of 12 candidates to be interviewed. However, it is important to note that based on the nominations, 14 candidates received 5 or more nominations. Hence, this takes our recommended total